Good evening and good night, and welcome to the It's Your Perspective Talk Show podcast. It is April 21st, 2025. It is a Monday. It's in the Virgin Islands. It is Easter Monday. I don't know that the folks in the States are celebrating Easter Monday, but here in the Virgin Islands, we celebrate Easter Monday. Everybody's off. At least the government folks are. I had to work. But this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show podcast every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until 9 p.m., longer if needed. Tonight, we have a guest in the studio. This episode is 494. We are on the road to 500 shows. Thanks to all our viewers, all our supporters. Bingy Soup will be back soon. He's still on special assignment. R.I.P. to Wasi. And everybody else has been helping us, supporting us here, there, and everywhere, worldwide. Congratulations to you. Coming to you live from St. Croix, Virgin Islands. We're streaming using StreamYard, StreamYard.com. Links us into Facebook and YouTube. We're also on Twitter or X, aka X. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Click on the notification bell, please. And there is no music disclaimer tonight because we're not going to have any music. But our prayers and his blessings, when you put it all together, you get one perfect love. And those are the rules that I live my life by. So our guest tonight, here she is right there. Wave to the crowd. Meagan Bryan, how are you? Thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me. I am great. What a blessed day to do the show, Easter Monday itself. I feel like that's a great way to start the week.
Oh, man, it's perfect, man. It is perfect. Well, thanks for coming on the show, man. We got so much to talk about. Been trying to get you on here over the last couple of months.
It's true. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Well, you're here now. And I'm excited because you're doing a lot, and let's get right into this, man. So you live in what I call Rock City, but
that's right.
Others we're going to call it St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and you are a TV producer for what is it? Saw it somewhere here. Some Road Warrior TV.
I have such a broad amount of things that I'm involved in and that I dip in and out of. So I'll jump into some of those you were talking about. So I have a YouTube channel. It's called Moments with Island Sweetheart. And we have a segment called The Warrior Movement where I interview people. And I started that just around the pandemic, and I quickly became very busy in so many other projects. So one of the other things that I was helping produce, and I was a host on the show, was for Food Beat Island Adventure. And then I got pulled from that, and I started doing the first ever carnival travel reality TV show called Road Ready. So I just it was like a ripple effect from I'm here, and then I would do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, but it works. It all works.
Okay, so this is all happening starting there in Rock City.
So Food Beat Island Adventure is on the island of St. Thomas, although we've done some episodes in St. John. I think it'd be really cool to do St. Croix for the Ag Fair one year.
No, come on over, please.
That would be so much fun. But Road Ready TV is a carnival TV show. And so the idea is traveling to different carnivals. And a lot of people don't realize that Caribbean Carnival has gone abroad. So it's not just in the islands, it's the island people who have now brought the culture to the States. So you have Atlanta Carnival, you have Orlando Carnival, Tampa Carnival. I think there's North Carolina, South Carolina, DC has their one DC Carnival. And so the idea was to go to different islands, but to also meet in the different places in the States and kind of go on the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm familiar with the DC one. I used to live up there.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing. Back then it was. It
and
was
bigger.
A big thing.
I do. I think it's bigger every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now they have Soca weekends. I'm sure you've heard of the Soca cruise. It came to St. Croix last year, this year?
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Last year, yeah. which I just think the VI, the Virgin Islands in general, is making so much echoes in the carnival world, and that really says like how hard we stick to our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a public figure.
I am, but it's weird when people, I was like, oh, this is our like local celebrity. And I find it so funny because I'm so involved in everything I do in the community. But because I represent the island and the islands, and like when I say islands, I mean the Virgin Islands as a whole, not just the US Virgin Islands. It's I think it comes with being a Virgin Islander. Like, how do you not go abroad and rep our home, our little islands as hard as we do? So I've got praise for that, for like being as loud and boisterous as I am. And I guess for good reason, because in my little echoes, I've made big waves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a question for you, Meagan. So am I a public figure?
I would say so. I think that we have so much talent that comes out of the Virgin Islands, and it's people like you who help people spread their voice. Like, people know, social media is a thing, but then it's like, well, where's more details? People could put statuses all the time. People could put photos or videos all the time, and you may not have time to watch it, but there might be people who are like, this is a show. I like to listen to it when I'm driving. I like to have it on when I'm doing the dishes or when I'm getting to relaxing and putting clothes away. And that's where people really learn about people in the community who are really doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely, David. Yes.
Well, I meet people all the time that say, "Hey, you the guy on the internet, right?" And I say, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I watch your show, man. All I can really say, man, is thanks for supporting. Just continue to tune in. What more can I say?
I mean, you're almost at 500 episodes, so
yeah,
over 50 to 100, that says something. I hadn't even made that far. I went into other things. So you have to give kudos to people like you who keep pushing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So what's happening right now in St. Thomas, Virgin Island? Carnival, I guess, is in first gear now, right?
Yes, I'm actually wearing my Madras Carnival shirt. It was designed by Joa. I think I can comment this maybe when we post out some of the links and share it, but he just did a Madras vibe shirt. So I'm getting in the carnival vibes. Our village is set up. The children's village opened, I think, last night. So all the rides are brewing. They had the toddler derby. People are cooking their food. So it's like full carnival mode for us over here.
Yeah, it's getting ready to shift to second gear here.
That's right. Yeah.
So did you go down there? I mean,
so I drive by it like at least 3 times a day just because of where I live and like my road routes. But I haven't parked up and gone inside the village with my daughter. She's very anxious to go and ride the rides. So I always cut out days to do that with her, days just to go and enjoy the food, and then a day to actually go stay late and know that I'll watch the performers who are going to come.
Okay. Who they got coming in this year?
So we have some people that we've had before, and I'm very excited about it because those are the people who are doing big things right now. For me, my favorite, and I'm always happy when I see the name, is Kes. I've seen Kes in like so many islands, so many states. And then, this album that they have now it's like they don't have a stop. Every time you're like, all right, that was great. There's like, boom, here's the next one. All their music are hits.
Okay. And Juve, which is a big sort of street for the, so a little bit of education here from what I know. Juve is just more of a big street festival. Everybody kind of dancing, walking up, as they like to say, having a good time, just letting it loose, and is that this Friday or Saturday?
It's always on a Thursday. It is next week Thursday, not this Thursday.
Not this Thursday. Okay.
No, so we have like, this is the gear up week, and then next week is like full blown everything.
Okay, so the parade is not this Saturday, but next week.
Next Saturday, yes.
Okay, I got you. I thought it was all this week.
So yeah, a lot of things like are coming up, and next week will be the food fair, will be Juve, children's parade, adults parade, things like that.
Okay. Okay. So you're
Yeah.
going to participate in the adult parade? Are you like in a movement?
I
Or
am. I like how you said a movement. So, it's so funny. I said this is going to be the year I take a break. I don't know if people realize, like, people like, oh, carnival comes every year, we participate. But like, I was doing like 6 and 7 carnivals in a year, and it as like part of it being my career, but also
Mhm.
like it really does take a toll on you. So it's like, gosh, I'm gonna take a break this year. And everyone is like, what? What do you mean? No, what troop
So
are we
you
joining?
were traveling to the States and some of the other islands?
Yeah, and because all these carnivals happen at different times,
Yeah.
you can technically do like multiple. You can never make everyone because some of them do happen at the same time. Like
Mhm.
St. Martin is the same time as ours, but there's like, Notting Hill, UK, and then there's Toronto. I mean, you need time to like get back into your zone, unpack, clean your clothes. Like it takes time. But yeah, I was doing a lot, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna actually enjoy the parade, enjoy carnival. But I'm gonna be on the sidelines this year, and my
Okay.
family was not having that. They're like, absolutely not. So here's the costumes, here's what we're gonna do, and somehow here I am, not just in any costume, but again, one of the biggest costumes. I don't know how it happened, but uh,
Mhm.
I will be sure sharing pictures so everyone
Okay.
can see. Yeah.
Um, so one of the other things I wanted to ask you about too is kind of we kind of segue into this a little bit
Yeah.
is the you have a online or a physical, you can get a physical magazine. You've created this whole concept of a magazine.
Well, I cannot take the credit at all, as much as I am just so honored to be a part of it. But I had a dream. Um, it's just funny how life takes turns and presents itself years ago. And I remember telling my friends, like, we need a carnival magazine. Like all the designers, they come out with these awesome costumes, they have runways. I have modeled for different carnival costumes, and all these people who come and they perform, and like we have social media and then that's it. But there's no like magazine where subscriptions for different carnivals. And crazy enough, I got in touch with Wilfred. He's the editor for US Virgin Islands Carnivals. And he tells
Okay.
me, I heard about you. I'd love to meet you. I hear that you're really big in the carnival community. And I just love to sit down and talk to you and interview you. But I want you to know about what I'm doing. And we have a team that's going to be working on a carnival magazine. And I think your story could be worth interviewing. I heard you also are running or ran for Miss USVI at the time. And I was like, he's like, and your daughter. So we met, and then we met again. We saw each other at certain carnival events. And he was like, okay, great. Let's do like a sit down interview. I'd like to make this like a barcode. We're going to make it very like islandy, but we're also going to make it up to date, where people could scan a
Mhm.
QR code. And I was like, wow, this is such a brilliant idea. So
Scan the QRC code to connect to the link to watch a video.
to watch the whole interview,
Okay.
not just like read about it. You can
Okay.
actually scan it. And I was like, this is a great idea. So he's like, okay, well, we're going to do a spread on you and Liliana. I love what you're doing. I think it's so great that you're Miss Community SBI. I was like, okay, great. And so he kind of took like a lot of the things I'd been working on, just me being running for Miss USVI, my own personal show, me as a host, and wrapped it all in. And, we did these questions and it came out great. And just recently, they surprised me with the cover, which is like on my bucket list to like just to have a carnival magazine touch my heart, but then to be on the cover of the first ever US Virgin Islands Carnival magazine, it was like something I couldn't have asked for. I couldn't have imagined it. I couldn't have prayed for it. Like I couldn't even talk when they sent it to
Mhm.
me. I was like, wow. And I shot the cover that the team decided to use in Trinidad just around my birthday. And I was like, how crazy this comes full circle.
So
So I think
is this
one
the
of the
picture that we
photos
have here?
Yeah, let's put it up so everyone could see it.
Yes.
It's funny because we
No,
shot.
that's not it.
So no, but that is at another carnival in Miami Carnival, and that's a Juve. So you could really see like everybody having fun with the paint. That's a great action shot, actually. And my VI flag, my VI headband.
Okay. And wait a minute here. So that's weird. It's kind of Willy Wonka weird there. Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
So this is designed by the amazing, talented Sheena Ali. She actually said herself this is one of her favorite designs, and it's called Lilibel or Lilybell, and my daughter's name is Liliana. So I knew I was going to Trinidad. It was a dream of mine to go to Trinidad. And when I saw this costume, I was like, oh my God, the fairy. Like, I'm in love with this fairy. It's my birthday. It's purple. My birthstone is like amethyst. Like, I was all wrapped up and excited about it. And
So this is not St. Thomas Carnival. This is in Trinidad?
It's not. So it's just showing how many carnivals I've done, really. But yeah, it's in February of me going to Trinidad Carnival representing the Virgin Islands, and we shot there at this hotel there in Trinidad. Yeah, I also went to Tobago shortly after this.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's
and
cool.
The young lady that made us lives in Trinidad, or she in St. Thomas?
She lives in Trinidad, the designer of this costume.
Okay,
and
perfect.
So it's really interesting because so many of our designers are from different islands, and I think it's so cool that we can now have this piece of information to be like who was featured, this year. And USVI Carnivals also did something really cool, is that they didn't just do one cover, they did 4 covers because it's the inaugural edition and it's such a special celebration as the first carnival magazine for the United States Virgin Islands. So I'm so ecstatic to be one of them, and it's so cool that this is the photo they chose.
Okay, perfect, man. Perfect. That looks good, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. At first I was like, oh my gosh, is that the photo we're using? And then I was like, I actually really love it because it's so sentimental.
Yeah. So this was last year or when? Or
This was last year, February. So
last year. Okay.
Yeah, I think people, and I know this from being in the business, like these types of businesses, things like TV shows or magazines or even photo shoots, they take time. You don't just shoot and then it's out. They have to go back, adjust lighting, edit it, send it into a team. So when we used to shoot the show, sometimes it would take months just to come for one episode to production. And then
really? Wow.
Yeah, you get all the episodes, like each week an episode would be released. So you don't even get the full season until maybe like a year later altogether. You could binge watch it. So you'll notice that now. Your style is a little different with the live, which I think is really cool because people get it like right away and they can tune in right away. So it's great that we have you and your presence to offer this for people in the islands. But the same thing with the magazine. We have the 3 beautiful carnivals. So you have St. Croix Carnival, you have St. Thomas Carnival, and then the last one there in July is St. John. It goes right back to St. Croix. So to capture all 3 and edit them, it's now coming right back out again at St. Thomas. So now it's ready for print production.
Okay, good, man. Good. I have not been to St. John's Carnival, but I've definitely been to Rock a few times here and there, and definitely on St. Croix here.
They're all so different to me, but also special. It's funny to see how one is small, one is spread out, one is they just all have their things. Where certain booths are going to be. Now that I've gone to certain ones, I know where certain people, certain families are going to be posted up on the parade route. You just learn. Okay. And I wanted to add, you said something earlier, like about Juve. They went one step ahead and they did kind of like a lingo version magazine, separate than the US Virgin Islands Carnival magazine, where people can go in and really learn the terminologies of Juve and what Juve is and the culture, playing mass, or maybe the cultural food like a Johnny cake that people may not know. So I think visitors will really love it. And then people of different age groups are going to really appreciate it. Like, that's a lingo we used to use or terminology we use today, but you guys don't really use it as much. You know, we use it in our day.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have four available editions available for purchase now?
Yes. So they're all the same, but the covers are different. We have one of, it might be in St. Croix. It is a little boy in the band, in his band attire. I just love that photo. He's in like red and gold.
Yes, I've never seen that picture.
Yeah. I wish I brought them here for you today, but they can log on to MagCloud. I think you have it there, and they can see all four of the issues. We also have Sir Chandler Champagne, who has been big in the carnival world. And we have a mixture of some children and the adults dancing, and then myself. So these are all different carnival personalities or snapshots of carnival. So it's kind of like mine was like a carnival personality shooting and representing the Virgin Islands away. You have a child, you have an adult, and then you have the mixture. And I thought that was really nice that they got all the melting pot ethnicities in there, but also to just show you that there's so many different levels of carnival and what's going on in the background.
I got you. So the picture that's associated with the young man there is, I guess, it's sparkle light twirlers.
I believe you are right. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I printed that out.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix issue.
Yeah.
And the other one is the sparkle light twirlers. And then I think the last one is with Sir William Chandler.
Yeah.
Okay. So where does Pebbles come from?
That is like my, it started really when I was a child, like my island bubbly name. If you ever watched the Flintstones and you know of Bedrock, you know of Rock City, I was the little redhead who became Pebbles, and it just kind of stuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not my middle name. Flintstones. I love the Flintstones too. And very fitting for Rock City with our barefoot, my barefoot culture.
I got you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned too that you are Miss Community something here, you said.
Yes.
And that was a pageant that you and your daughter participated in?
Yeah. It's crazy because when I tell people that, like, I see their face right away and they're like, oh, I don't understand. Like, how old is your daughter? Virgin Islands pageantry really is a cultural thing in the Virgin Islands, especially in Carnival. But there is Miss US Virgin Islands, and at the time last year when I ran, they got the franchise Miss Universe. We haven't got to do a local Miss Universe pageant. I think it's been decades and decades. So Miss Universe was one of the only pageants recently that opened up to mothers. So a lot of people don't know this, but mothers could never run for a pageant before. If you had a child, that was it. You can't run for a pageant. If you were married, even if you got divorced, once you have been married once, you can't run for a pageant. And so with everything else I was doing in the community, they got in touch with me and they're like, you know, I think I had looked into it years prior, and it came like mothers can run. And so, of course, my 6-year-old daughter at the time was like, well, mommy, I want to do what you're doing. I want to wear a pretty dress. And so she got the opportunity to run for Little Miss Universe, US Virgin Islands. And so we're actually in the exact same pageant. We were on stage the same night, and we both got our sashes and crowns and everything the same night. So we made history under the Miss Universe name and in the Virgin Islands as the first mother-daughter duo to run in a pageant together.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Sounds exciting. I remember a few months ago, I saw that you were posting about it a little bit more, and and this,
Yeah.
that, and the other. But like you said, I guess it's ended now.
I think your timing, I know we've tried to talk with all the projects that I've been going on, and it's like the universe's timing was waiting so we could talk about all the projects at once.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, I remember seeing your post, and your daughter was involved, and you guys were, just kind of going through the motions. And I think that's around the time I was trying to get you on the show. But you're here now, so that's all that matters. So to purchase this magazine, they go to magcloud.com/browse/issue/3046545.
I think we can make it one easier. I think they can just go to www.mag, like as in magazine, magcloud.
Okay.
.com/USVI carnivals. And once they go there, my issue is that exact number, but they'll be able to see all 4 issues.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And don't forget these magazines are available now for purchase. I'm gonna have to get one myself.
Yes.
It might be a collector's item, at some point.
It's so true.
So you come from a sort of a multi faceted, your mom and your dad.
Yes.
And both around, I would assume.
Sorry.
They're both around?
So no, unfortunately. Both my parents passed away. Gosh, it's much longer than it seems, but they both passed before my daughter was born. So they never got to meet her. My dad passed in 2017, and my mom passed in 2014.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
So, yeah, it's okay, because I have to say before they went, they were both sick, and my dad had cancer, and my mom suffered with different illnesses for years, and her body was just trying to overcome. And she lasted a lot longer than, I think the doctors even expected. But I took like so much time putting in and taking care of them. All the things that I'm doing now, they were like, you're going to have a daughter one day and you're going to do all these amazing things. And it's funny to see that the things that they talked about are so many of the things that I'm doing. And I wouldn't believe it if you told me this story myself, except it's my life and I'm living it. And I'm like, they said this, and it's all happening.
It's all happening, yeah. So how does your daughter feel about it? I mean, she's, seeing you, and, you're this public figure, and and
That's so funny.
picking up on some of this stuff.
She volunteered just today at we have Roosevelt Park over here, giving out bubbles and with the egg hunt over there. And she told me, Mommy, people were driving by and they were like, Liliana. She's like her own little public figure now. And I was like, well, did you know who you were? And she's like, well, no, but I know that they know me, so I waved hi. And I was like, good. Like, you have to wave hi. I was like, you probably do know them from somewhere. You just, you may not know. But she herself has really her own personality, and she dances, and she's wanting to do another pageant. So she right now is Miss Virgin Islands Elementary America, and we're going to Arkansas in this year, the end of June and July, and she'll be representing the Virgin Islands herself there. This is all she asked for Christmas. Mommy, I just want to do another pageant. I was like, oh, another one? We just finished. So
how long did that first one take?
We started probably about like a year and a half. Our date got moved once, but just gearing up to it was about a year and a half. And I feel like you really need that time. Some pageants go a lot quicker, like once they go public. We had probably like 8 months of public, but we kind of knew in the background. And so many events come up where you have to go, you want to meet people, they want to work with you and things. And so it was probably one of the busiest years of my life, next to doing the show, really the last decade. Is better to like go, 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 go.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
sounds interesting. And let's talk about a little bit more about the carnival. So you're not participating this year. So
I
when
am.
you say not participating, is that
Well, so
just
I wasn't going to, but I am participating because my family and my friends decided that there's no way that the girl on the Carnival magazine could not participate in Carnival, and that
okay?
the Road Ready Carnival Queen, they were like, no, you're participating. And I went back and forth, and so many people messaged me, and they're like, it wouldn't have been Carnival if you didn't play, and that didn't sit right with me. So they
Mhm.
got me to play Mass, and I will be playing Mass next Saturday.
Next Saturday, which is Juve Day.
So Juve is the Thursday, and then playing Mass would be the Carnival Saturday
When you say carnival, what do you mean? You're going to be in the parade?
in the parade.
Okay. I got you.
I'm gonna
Okay.
get you a lingo book, so we're all in the same lingo.
Well, I I do know the lingo. Just trying to kind of,
Yeah,
make
we
it.
have a lot back to back here as well for
Yeah.
Carnival. We have horse
Yeah.
races. We have the children's parade, which Liliana will be in with her little princess self, and
Do
we
you
have.
guys get a lot of support on the Children's Parade Day?
I don't think it's as much as from when I was a child. I mean, that's really where my carnival story started. My journey was
In the Children's Parade?
it was the children's parade. In fact, there is, I believe Department of Tourism has it. There's a poster of me. It was the 50th year anniversary, and I'm like a candlestick, and we're
Mhm.
singing Happy Birthday, and it became a poster. And from even then, I was like a little carnival mogul dancing in the streets. And my parents, we always did carnival together. And I mean, that's really like the staple in my memory of
Mm,
how, and now I do it with my daughter. I always, even from when she was a baby, I've always tried to get, in fact, I'll share some with you, some photos of her just as a little baby every
Is
year.
that her in the blue? Is that blue?
Yeah, so there's a blue and pink. Actually, there's a couple blue and pink, different ages, but you could kind of see.
Okay, so let me do this one here at the stage.
Oh, that was actually her on stage right before she was crowned Little Miss Universe, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're looking very elegant.
Yes. She
And
really
then
went out and did her thing. I was shocked. I was
and then
crying backstage.
you were what?
I was crying backstage, about
Oh,
to go on after the children. I was
yeah.
contestant number one, like, oh my God, that's my child. Everyone was blowing the air horn so loud. I was just like, okay, I gotta go on next.
And then we have this other picture here. This
Yeah,
is
she's probably like 18 months there, maybe.
mhm.
I was with Infernos that year, and of course, I had to dress her up in some little butterfly wings and a little tutu so she could, have her little carnival costume because mommy was playing on the road.
Yeah.
But, I
And I
mean,
think
of
this
course, she
picture,
doesn't come down the road with me. She was just dressed and, matched.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
And then I think this is a picture here too.
Yes. So
She's a
here,
little older here.
yeah, she might be 1.5 or 2. And that year there, I played with Remedy. And this particular photo and video went viral, it was right. I think we were right at the post office square, and someone gave her to me. One of her aunts or uncles had handed her, and I brought her in for a few seconds to dance. And like 3 of the soca sites was just kept replaying. I was like, oh my God, that's me and Liliana. So
Mhm.
it was really cool to see like just that little moment of people like, wow, look at these mother and daughter matching. But I always like her to match me when I'm on the road.
Yeah. So who made it? Who made it viral? I mean, who took the picture and were they the ones that posted it on like YouTube or where?
So I think so many people took pictures because I have some of this particular version of my own. But there was a video and it went to, I want to say, there was a Caribbean page on Instagram, and then a soca page, and it really went viral on the soca page. But it's a little video clip that someone took of her and I dancing.
Okay.
And yeah, it was like the cutest mother-daughter. So that's kind of always been our little thing, the mother-daughter duo.
Yeah, she looks pretty intense there. She's looking like she's looking right at you.
Yeah, we have a close bond.
Okay.
I think she's a little nervous in her younger years, and now it's like her thing. Mommy, how am I dressing? Okay, where am I going to see you on the road? Okay.
Oh, okay. So she's kind of getting into the whole thing now.
Yeah. It's like her thing, waiting for mommy to come down the road.
Okay. So what else can we expect from the magazine? So you've got you got four magazines out. Was it for the past 4 years? Is that how you got that going?
So it's one issue with 4 different covers. And this is the first time it's ever come out. So when they released it, they wanted to release it with like 4 powerful covers.
That's
I would
interesting.
say, it's like a photo journal that for people who either came to Carnival, it's really exciting for them to be like, oh my gosh, that's me or that's my friend. And then for people abroad to really understand what they can expect. You're going to see a little bit of the food fair. You're going to see the performers on stage. And I mean, so many of these performers deserve recognition and the song at the time. And so in my mind, with every issue, you're getting a time lock in history. What was the song at that time? Like how people keep National Geographic and they talk about the things that are happening in this time. This will be the Carnival version of the Virgin Islands, you know? Who was governor? Who was the princess that year? Who was not just performing? Who won the road march at Juve? What was the biggest costume? What was the most seen costumes? And who were the Carnival personalities at that time?
Okay. So you mentioned a word there in your last few sentences there, music. So who are you listening to now as you know, Carnival is perking up here, getting ready to shift to second gear?
Gosh, soca is like my musical choice all year round, and mix of dance hall and old school calypso. I love all of it, but I just honestly have to give Pumpa and Adam O their props. I went to Trinidad last year, and Trinidad plays a lot of the hits, but that's because people out of Trinidad are, you know, the hits. Trinidad is the mecca of Carnival, but those were 2 VI artists, all at Juve, that their songs played. And I think it's because the Virgin Islands has like this unique, heavy VI rhythm that no other island has yet to match. And so Pumpa was nonstop. I think he was there for like the whole month of Carnival. Like I kept seeing him at all these fetes, and I'm like, well, how this man done? I'm tired. He must be so tired. And now I see the 3rd coming up. He was just nominated for one of the youngest soca artists. He really started in like the R&B kind of parameters, and he's spread out into soca, and people just love his soca music. Like they love it. I love it. And
the
then
energy god.
Yes. We have Hunter. He was also just nominated as one of the youngest soca artists.
If I could share a quick little statement with you.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Pump and I were neighbors a few years.
That's right. He's from St.
Before the hurricane, we were neighbors, and so I had many nights of hearing that heavy bass. You know, that soca bass, and I was like, he's down there working it. He's working it. And ultimately, he moved on, and I still kind of stayed there living. But if you go back maybe in year 2 or 3 or 4, he's been on our show a couple of times.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I like Pumpa, man. I love him, man. He's doing his thing. Big shout out to Pumpa for sure, man.
He was just hiking somewhere in St. Croix the other day, and I was like, swearing it was St. John. I'm like, oh, where is this hike? And he was like, oh, no, I just went for the ride. I was like,
he is literally just on a wave, man. Just a hell of a wave. And they love him. They love the music, and they
Yes.
hear his music, and everybody just gets wild and crazy.
It's what you said, is he's the energy god. I mean, some people get on stage and the music is good, but from the time he hits the stage to after he leaves, you're still like, oh my gosh, like the energy is, you just get with it.
Yeah, he's on the move, man. So give a shout out to Pump Up for sure, man.
Right.
What else we got going on here? So St. Thomas Carnival is happening. Is in first gear, just starting off. Sounds like next week is the big week. And I'm just kind of reiterating this stuff for the viewers and anybody that may see this in the States or wherever. But next week is when everything is going to be pumping up. You said Juve's on Thursday next week, and then Friday is the children's parade, like it is here on St. Croix, and then on Saturday is the adult parade. And I would imagine even here on St. Croix, I've been to the children's parade 2 or 3 times, and it just doesn't really have the crowds. But the next day for the adult parade, it's just massive turnout. Everybody's there. And it sounds like it's kind of the same way in St. Thomas.
It's totally a topic that's been talked about. And I think that needs to be talked about, especially like this is a great platform to do so. It's funny because they just built back the horse track here in St. Thomas. I think last year was the opening. And then there's also a big fete that happens, I think it's at the Fred in St. Croix. And I noticed how much they talked about giving, you guys need to go out to the children's parade. Yes, come, blah, 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 but go support the children, even at the events the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the adults not putting in as much. I mean, kudos to the ones who do. Is it a lack of troops? Is it a lack of people? I'm not sure where the diameter changed, but in my time, the children's parade, those adults were having fun. They had their coolers. They were just excited to go down the road and tramp with the children. Mm-hmm. And that was something like when I was in school, every year those papers came home. I'm like, okay, mommy, carnival's coming, fill out this paper. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna bring it back to school. And with my daughter's school, I saw it came home and they were like, you were the only parent who volunteered. I was like, what? I don't understand. How do we make this popular? Because the kids want to do it. They are excited to do it. They want to go. They want to be involved. But the float and the costumes, they don't just happen. All these things take months before, almost half a year.
Yeah.
For it to happen. And so I just think if we could going into the next school year. Okay. And also we're putting out these forms and then just keep being on the people. Here's what we're going to do. We could throw out beads. We can, raise funds for the float or make it a community event. I think if we could bring that aspect back of Carnival, because to me, the rides, the children, seeing their faces and letting them be part of it, I wouldn't be who I am in Carnival today had I not had that opportunity in childhood at Carnival.
Okay, perfect, man. Yeah, I'm not sure why it is the way it is here. It's just just a low turnout, and the next day, there's just 50 million more people there. It's just,
and it's not that we don't have enough children. That is not the issue. There's definitely a lot of children.
Yeah, whoever the powers to be, we got to work on that, because the children want to feel equally as important. Could you imagine a children's parade with a bunch of people down there? I mean, they'd go crazy.
They would. I mean, it's an energy thing too when you're on the road. It's like, for me, that is my whole favorite thing when I'm on the road. I always pluck a little part of my costume and I'll give it to certain kids. And or they'll want to come and take a picture. And I'm like, do you want to pick a piece of one of my feathers? And they'll be like, okay. And I'm like, okay, whichever one you want. And we'll pluck it together, because that's the whole fun of it, is they'll take that little feather and they'll hold on to it and think, wow, this person was in the parade and gave it to me. And it makes them feel so special. And then when they get to do that, it's like, wow, I got to do what I used to watch as a little kid to now be a little bit older where I could walk and sing and dance and perform.
Okay, perfect, man. So in closing, Meagan, sort of run down a little bit real quick about the magazine. Give
Yeah,
us sort of the 5 main bullet points, where they can get it from, yada, yada, yada.
sure. So for right now, it's going to be on stand soon. I can't say exactly where, um, just for certain
Top,
contract purposes.
still
Yes,
top secret
copyright.
information, right?
Yes, but you will be seeing them in the Virgin Islands. We are working right now on another platform because MagCloud, as great as a platform as it is for people to get their copies right away, is like the pre-order, they are not shipping to the US Virgin Islands. And so it's
Ouch.
something, I know, it's something that we are working with them, but we're also working on another platform. So a lot of people, what they've been telling me is they've just forwarded it somewhere and then they got their copy. But I think it's so important. I mean,
Also, when someone orders a copy through that website, the website staff or crew will not mail it to the Virgin Islands?
so they're not getting it. It's like a separate partnership
Mm.
that's doing the printing. So that's what we're working on. But
Okay, I
once
got you.
all the print production is done, then it will go to the different, what I should say, businesses, storefronts, grocery stores, different places where you'll be able to physically get it. But for right now, for people who are wanting that copy, they want to secure it, they want to have it by Carnival, touch it, you can go ahead and order it. And I think that it's great to have that ordering in place. It's just, for some reason, we're like a foreign country.
I know. I understand
It's
completely.
something that I know we've been dealing with, but it is really, this is such a big thing. So
Yeah,
someone's just physically going to be here where everyone can get it themselves. And
yeah. The
yeah,
United States Virgin Islands is to many in the global economic picture. We're just not the United States Virgin Islands. We're not
that's
part of the
right.
United States. Um,
There's something, but I don't
and we
know
get,
if it.
and it leaves us kind of limited, lacking in some respects too, of like mailing stuff. They won't ship it here, and I don't get it. I don't get it
Or it
myself.
gets here and it gets shipped back
Yeah, yeah,
somehow.
yeah. I've had a couple of those.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's a story. That's a story for another. That sounds like a political show, and this
Yeah.
show is not political.
No, it's love and unity,
And
no
love and
separation.
unity and positivity, and we allow our guests to come on here and share what they're doing in their community. And you're doing a lot. You Road Ready TV,
Yes,
book television online, Moments with Island Sweetheart,
yes, and
and
more
then
projects to come.
huh?
I said, and more projects to come.
More projects to
Something.
come. So I would
Yeah.
imagine the magazine is probably your biggest accomplishment to date, right?
For me, like maybe some people wouldn't consider it like my biggest win, but for me, as someone who like holds Carnival so close to her heart, it is for me. I've been in magazines before, I've been in spreads before, I have modeled for really big designers, I've walked in runway shows, and I'm grateful for all of those, and even abroad, but like this is my local home first ever Carnival magazine. And it kind
Mm,
of goes like hand in hand, the journey. Like when I had started another project with some friends and that led to something else. As you know, one thing leads to another. And I somehow ended up on Road Ready, and that was huge. Just the people I got to meet, some of the artists that came on the show that I got to work with. Jody, who I love. I don't know if people ever watch Jody Jinks on YouTube, but just amazing that I got to be part of that project and then to come back home and be seen as a Carnival ambassador and an ambassador for all the things that I've done, Carnival makeup, Carnival boots. I mean, I really became like this standpoint that people would call me, like, well, can you do this? Well, can you do that? And I was like, well, how could I say no? We want to do it all.
mm,
But now to be recognized in my own home, it's so much more meaningful than any project or all the projects that have led to this.
Okay. So when is the next edition going to come out? Because I would think that right after Carnival's done, 2 days later, it's on the street. But it doesn't sound like is it going to happen that way or no?
Well, right now we're already working on the next one, and I've had like, I'm so happy to be part of the say. I'm like the official, unofficial part of the team, but I do see it being something that I keep going with. It's so funny because it's like I manifested it. And I wanted to do this project, help edit magazines. And this particular project is so needed and so important.
Mm.
So now it's like, well, when you get the feedback from that first one, like the sky's the limit. Like already there's been like little things posted out and it's like, okay, good to know, taking notes.
Mm.
When the amount of work that you did this time, you're like, okay, here's what worked, here's what doesn't work. You save a lot of time every time after that. And I've noticed that with every project I've done. It's not always a pass or fail thing. It's how do we make things even better? How do we make it even more amazing? And so I think that's going to be something with the magazine. But even this time around, like I said, like even as small as the QR code, when I heard them say like, this is something we want to do, I'm like, that's just amazing. It makes me think of like, when there was magazines and you could get a little perfume sniff off and you could smell what the perfume, like you're getting the experience of hearing the sound just by putting your phone over it.
Yeah. That's a new thing now. There's just QR codes.
Yes.
QRC code. That's a new thing here. Scan the QRC code and you'll be connected to something. You'll be connected to something.
We'll be connected to something. Yeah. So right now, St. Thomas Carnival will be the first one for the next edition, which will follow by St. John and then finish up with St. Croix to hopefully be ready for a re-release for St. Thomas Carnival next year.
Okay, when you come to St. Croix later on this year for this in December or January, just let me know, man. Let me know.
Yes.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Absolutely. We're just talking about St. Croix today, like Ag Fair, St. Croix Carnival, and like my summer little getaways to say. I just love St. Croix. St. Croix for me is like, every island is my home to me. There's no, St. Croix is truly like, that's where I spent my birthday this year.
Oh, St. Croix? Okay.
Yeah. For the Ag Fair. My birthday fell Ag Fair weekend, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had a family reunion that weekend, so I didn't even go to the fair. I think some of the people that flew in did.
Yeah.
Because I've never been here before, but I was like, nah, I'll pass on that this year. You guys have a good time, eat as much as you want, and I'll link up with you later. All right, so tonight our guest is Meagan Pebbles Bryan. She is affiliated, works with the whole team that's bringing us the USVI magazine. Is that correct?
Yep, USVI Carnival magazine.
Carnival magazine. And the second point is that Carnival in St. Thomas is going on now. It's a big thing. If you can catch your flight, head on down to St. Thomas Virgin Island, get yourself a room if you get it. If not, just camp on the beach, but you want to be a part of the whole festivities. It's big. It's a big old happening. I think I saw a post somewhere of the lineup of who's going to be performing reggae night. I usually go to here on St. Croix. I usually go to reggae night. All the other nights I kind of just stay from, but reggae night you try to go around, and participate in that one. But come on down, jump on a flight, and come on down here and enjoy it. You might see Meagan on the road there one day, say, hey, you're the lady from the show. And she's got 4 different covers of the same magazine available for sale now. Just go to magcloud.com /USVI Carnival magazine.
USVI Carnivals, you got it.
Yeah, Carnival. I'll get it sooner or later. And that's the first edition with 4 different covers, and the second edition is coming out soon. So look out for that. It's a good thing, and congratulations on this. Sounds like it's a big thing. And much success to you.
Thank
Any
you.
any final words?
I thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. I am always here for any questions. You can find me on Instagram at island_sweetheart15, on Facebook at Meagan Pebbles Bryan. I believe you have it on our little scroll there. And you can also find me on TikTok at island_sweetheart15. So I hope to see you guys on the road. And if not, start gearing up already for next year, because we will be getting our film and photos for the next Carnival magazine.
All right. Perfect. Perfectly said. Meagan, thanks for coming on the It's Your Perspective Talk Show podcast. I really appreciate that. This is episode 494. Once again, we are on the road to 500 shows. Bingy Soup, who is still on special assignment, he is my co-host. Him and I just started the show, like 10 years ago. And we laugh about it now because we've taken some long breaks in between. Like we didn't do at some periods in the past that we didn't do the show for like a whole year. We just took a break, and we just, we're just living life, and then we pick back up, and we probably could have had more shows, but we're appreciative of 500 because we've met a lot of people, had a lot of fun. Everybody's been cool, and every time I see people that have been on a show in the gas station or at Kmart, nothing but love, and we appreciate that. For everybody that sees me, on the street that says, "Hey, you the guy from the internet." I said, "Yeah, that's me." I said, "Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. You spread the word, man. We're on YouTube and we're on Facebook, and so we're getting close. We're getting close. What else? Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. Meagan, once again, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And you're a guest forever.
Party. Yes. When we hit that like 500 or 1,000, we gotta have like a big party.
I know, man. Trust me, I'm working on a party for 500 right now.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I want to talk to you offline about some stuff related to that too. But yeah, we're working on that now. We're just trying to make it a big thing, Yeah. I haven't really seen anybody else like VI podcasters that have sort of reached out. Because you got to remember too that when we started this show actually in 2014, the whole thing of podcasting has always been around, and it's just the audio. But when the pandemic sort of kicked in and everybody was at home, this whole thing of podcasting just took off.
It really did.
Like camera in front of the mics, conversation. So I just added podcasts to the end of the talk show. And we just kind of push on from there. But we're just having fun. It's all about fun. And this is not a political show. This is a show where we invite people on that I observe on internet that are doing things, saying things in the community. And I think that we invite them on so that they could share with us, and we just push it out even further so that the whole world can hear it.
That's right.
The political talk show will be the next iteration, maybe in 2030.
I see that. I can see that coming.
We'll do that in 2030. But Meagan, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Definitely stay in touch, and have a great evening. To all our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. We're out. Peace. Be safe.
Happy Carnival, everyone.
All right. We're out. Peace.